The galaxy stretches out, vast and indifferent, an endless expanse of stars where ancient civilizations have flourished for millennia. Earth, nestled in the far reaches of a spiral arm, is little more than a blip on the galactic map, an afterthought. The Galactic Registry, a powerful council of the oldest and most advanced species, has long classified Earth as a backwater planet. Humanity, barely 150 years into interstellar travel, is still seen as an infant species, struggling to keep up with the might of civilizations that have mastered technologies and power humanity can only dream of. The registry dismisses Earth's burgeoning space fleet as a joke, its ambitions laughable. An upstart planet nowhere near the capabilities of the established powers, Earth's existence barely registers. The Council sees Earth's every attempt to rise as nothing more than an inconvenience, a minor annoyance. A wave of derision washes over Earth's every attempt to assert itself, with diplomatic correspondence being ignored and military threats brushed aside. Earth's existence is relegated to the margins of galactic affairs, viewed not with hostility, but with dismissive neglect. But there's more to humanity than meets the eye. And hidden beneath this veil of cosmic scorn lies a secret, a resourcefulness, a drive to survive, and an unyielding will that has yet to reveal itself. Far from Earth, across the stars, the Zorvane Dominion casts a long shadow. Their ships, massive and imposing, patrol the sectors with ruthless efficiency. Known throughout the galaxy for their technological superiority and military might, the Zorvanes consider themselves the rightful rulers of the galaxy's major sectors. They have crushed countless species beneath their booted heels, and their empire spans light years in every direction. To them, Earth is an insignificant speck, too small, too new, too weak to be of any consequence. Their confidence is unshakable. They view their power as both inevitable and absolute. The Zorvane ships, sleek and advanced, are a symbol of their dominance, their size dwarfing anything Earth could hope to field. The fleet moves through space with an air of certainty, often making a show of their strength by invading lesser systems without resistance. They view Earth with the same disdain, as a primitive planet with no hope of standing up to their forces. The Zorvanes laugh at Earth's feeble defenses, dismissing humanity's rise as nothing more than an amusing novelty. It is this arrogance, this overconfidence in their own superiority, that will blind them to the true threat humanity is about to unveil. Amidst this galactic scorn stands Captain Rhea Morgan, commander of Earth's defense fleet at Sol Station Delta. She's Earth's last line of defense, her presence a reminder of humanity's unbreakable will. Morgan is no fool. She knows the odds. Her fleet is outgunned, outmanned, and outclassed in every way. But she refuses to yield. Her deep-set eyes reflect the quiet intensity of someone who has seen too much and knows even more. Every decision she makes, every command she gives, is one born of necessity. To her, it's not about victory. It's about survival. The Zorvanes may have dismissed Earth, but she knows that Earth has something they can't anticipate, something they'll regret underestimating. Morgan's leadership is marked by a calm yet steely resolve. The fleet she commands is small, its ships far from the grandeur of the galactic powers, but each one is equipped with the cunning and grit of its human crew. The captain's instincts and tactical brilliance have kept Earth's defenses alive against impossible odds. As she stands before the giant holoscreens of Sol Station Delta, watching the movement of the Zorvane fleet approach, she knows the storm is coming. But she won't flinch. She'll fight with everything Earth has, and she'll hold the line. In the shadows of Earth's fledgling defenses, humanity has been working on something far greater than anyone could have imagined. Buried deep within the vaults of Project Janus, Earth's secret wormhole research facility, scientists have been toiling away on a breakthrough technology, one that could change the face of galactic warfare forever. Wormhole manipulation,
the ability to open gates between distant points in space, allowing instantaneous travel across the vastest distances. With this technology, Earth could not only survive, it could strike at the heart of its enemies with devastating force. No longer would the Zorvane's superior fleet be a threat. Humanity could travel to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, arriving before anyone had the chance to respond. But with this power comes a dark weight. The technology is unstable, dangerous, and untested. Its use could mean the death of entire star systems. The moral questions loom large. Should humanity wield such power knowing the potential devastation it could cause? Or should they find another way, a more peaceful route in the face of overwhelming opposition? For now, Earth's top scientists continue to work in secret, knowing that Project Janus is humanity's last best hope. The first Zorvane scouts arrive in the Sol system, their ships cutting through space with majesty that only reinforces their superiority. They send out probes, analyzing Earth's meager fleet with casual amusement. The Zorvanes can't help but laugh. The human ships are primitive, their designs rudimentary compared to the sleek, sophisticated vessels of the Dominion. These scouts make no effort to hide their mockery. Using galactic communication channels, they openly ridicule Earth's technology, calling it a collection of obsolete scrap metal. For the Zorvanes, Earth's forces are nothing but a curiosity that will soon be crushed beneath the weight of their empire. They dismiss Earth's efforts to strengthen itself as foolish, almost enduring. Humanity's attempts to defend themselves only serve to amuse them, a reminder of their own superiority. But this underestimation will cost them. The Zorvanes believe they have all the time in the universe to toy with Earth before they strike, unaware that humanity is already making its move.
In a final act of defiance, Earth sends a warning to the Zorvane fleet, a message demanding that they respect Earth's sovereignty and cease their attempts to invade. The message is laughable to the galaxy's other powers. They listen to it with a mixture of disbelief and amusement. The Zorvanes, arrogant as always, ignore the warning entirely. They can't fathom a reason to take Earth seriously. But what they don't know is that the warning is not just a plea, it's a threat, a challenge, a gauntlet thrown at the feet of an empire that thinks it can crush humanity without resistance. For now, the galaxy laughs, but Earth's secret weapon is ready, and when it reveals itself, the galaxy's laughter will die in its throat. The stage is set. The Zorvane fleet may underestimate humanity's power, but soon they will realize that Earth's size is not its only defining characteristic. It's the size of its heart, the ingenuity of its people, and the courage of those like Captain Morgan who will fight against all odds. And when the wormholes open, the universe will never be the same again. Vivid silence envelops Earth's command center as the broadcast crackles to life. The Zorvane High Admiral's voice, calm and dripping with disdain, echoes through every station on Sol Station Delta. In the dimly lit room, the Earth defense officers brace themselves, yet the weight of the message is almost too much to bear. Zorvane High Admiral, voice from the broadcast, "People of Earth, your planet is an embarrassment. You have 10 cycles to surrender your resources. Fail, and we shall dismantle your world as we would a mere insect. This is your only warning. We will not repeat ourselves." The camera cuts to Captain Rhea Morgan, standing at the center of a crowded room, her fists clenched at her sides. Her eyes burn with determination as her jaw tightens. She remains silent as the officers around her exchange worried glances. Captain Morgan, internal thought, they think they've won. They think we're nothing. They believe our defiance will crumble under the weight of their superiority. But what do they know of humanity, of our will to survive? Earth's defense fleet, 22 cruisers, each a relic of a bygone era, sits at the edge of the Sol system. As the Zorvane fleet of 500 advanced warships looms in the distance, it's clear the disparity in power is unfathomable. The cruisers' aging hulls flicker with weak energy, while the Zorvane ships glimmer like gargantuan behemoths in the cold of space. Officer 1, nervously watching the screens, "Captain, the Zorvanes are moving in.
They're overwhelming us. We stand no chance. Captain Morgan, never say that. We haven't even started fighting yet. Her voice is steady, despite the odds. Her eyes scan the fleet's positioning, calculating the unthinkable. There is no room for error, not now. Officer 2, in disbelief, "But Captain, their fleet, it's massive. It's a suicide mission." "A mission we will fight to the end. Earth doesn't surrender. Not to anyone, not ever."
In the secret research facility known as Project Janus, a team of Earth's finest scientists huddle around a console. The room hums with tension, filled with the sharp scent of ozone and the clicking of keys. They've succeeded in opening micro wormholes, brief windows into distant parts of space, but the fear of their untested nature looms. Captain, it works. The wormhole, it opens. But the calculations, they haven't been tested in combat. Send me the data. We'll make it work. It's our only shot. As the scientist sends the data, Morgan looks out the window, her heart pounding. A new kind of hope is born in the depths of uncertainty. Is this the breakthrough we've needed? Or will it destroy us all? At Earth's high command, the debate is fierce. The room is filled with tension, the sound of arguments rising like waves crashing against a rocky shore. We can't use this technology, it's too risky. If something goes wrong, we'll destroy ourselves along with the Zorvanes. We can't just sit here and wait for them to destroy us. We can't be the galaxy's punching bag. We have to fight. We have to use this. And if it fails, what then? We lose everything. Earth won't survive that. Morgan's eyes flare with a burning intensity. She knows the stakes better than anyone. She knows what it means to gamble with survival, to risk it all for a chance at freedom. Then we die trying. But we don't let them take us without a fight. In the quiet aftermath of the meeting, Captain Morgan makes her decision. She walks into the main control room, her face hard and resolute. She stands before her crew, the weight of her choice clear in her eyes. We've been mocked, we've been underestimated, but no more. I'm deploying Project Janus, against orders. We'll show the Zorvanes what humanity is capable of. Let them choke on our reach. The crew falls silent, then one by one they stand, fists clenched, the fire of defiance igniting in their hearts. They will not bend. Not now. Not ever. Captain, if we do this, there's no going back. There's no going back. But there's one thing I know for sure. We will make them regret ever underestimating us. The hum of activity fills the air as Earth's fleet begins final preparations. Crew members scurry across the station, loading ammunition, checking systems, and ensuring every cruiser is ready for the impossible battle ahead. There's no joy, no excitement, only resolve. The crew knows they're outmatched, but they also know that surrender is not an option. Captain Morgan to her crew. Every one of you has earned my respect. Today we stand together. We fight as one. And if we die with our heads held high. For Earth, for our families, for the future. She steps down from the command podium, looking each of her crew members in the eye. The resolve in their eyes matches hers. They will fight.
The Zorvane fleet is closing in. Their massive warships fill the sky, and the sense of inevitability is almost suffocating. Yet in Earth's defense fleet, a single spark of hope glows bright in the face of overwhelming darkness. The countdown is ticking. Officer 1 monitoring the incoming ships. "We're out of time, Captain. They're almost here." Captain Morgan, calm but fierce. "Then we fight. We make them understand who we are. We are humanity. We do not bend." As the Zorvanes approach, ready to strike, Earth's defense fleet prepares to deploy to wormhole technology, hoping for the miracle they need. Captain Morgan, internal thought. This is it. The moment we prove that Earth isn't weak. We aren't just a speck in the universe. We are the spark that will ignite the fire of rebellion across the galaxy. The final moments before battle hang heavy in the air. The fate of Earth rests on the edge of a knife, and the universe watches in suspense. The cold, desolate expanse of Mars looms as Earth's last line of defense. A piercing red glow from the alien warships lights up the dark void, casting an ominous shadow over the small fleet positioned in Luna's orbit. Earth's 22 cruisers, ancient relics of a once proud military, sit in stark contrast to the sheer might of the 500 Zorvane warships, their dark holes gleaming under the distant sun. Captain Morgan stands on the bridge of the Fortitude, her hands gripping the rail. The Zorvanes move relentlessly forward, their imposing formation closing in on Earth. The crew watches in silence, fear etched on their faces. Earth's fate hangs in the balance, each cruiser, each weapon, insufficient against the overwhelming power of the alien fleet. Morgan's eyes narrow. The enemy's arrogance is palpable. They believe Earth is already defeated. She knows better. The Zorvanes are about to make a grave mistake. In the heart of Earth's deep space facility, Project Janus hums to life. Captain Morgan orders the immediate test of the micro-wormhole technology, a risky gamble that might just turn the tide. The air in the command center is thick with tension. Every eye is on the holographic display as Dr. Arun Dev, the project's lead physicist, nervously adjusts his glasses. "Are we sure about this?" Morgan asks, her voice steady despite the weight of the decision. "We've tested it, just not in combat," Dr. Dev replies, with his voice tinged with uncertainty. A tense silence follows as Morgan gives the final command. A pulse of energy shoots out from the station, and within seconds, a small wormhole materializes above the fleet. The ships disappear in a flash, only to reappear at Europa, then back again to Luna, before vanishing again. The bridge erupts in gasps and cheers. The impossible has been achieved. "We've just moved Earth's entire fleet across the system in the blink of an eye," Morgan murmurs, her voice low but triumphant. "This is our chance." The Zorvane commanders watch in disbelief as Earth's fleet seemingly disappears and reappears without explanation. Their arrogance blinds them. They laugh, dismissing the human technology as a trick, something of little consequence. "The Earthlings are desperate, throwing random gimmicks," one Zorvane general sneers. But confusion quickly gives way to irritation. The audacity of these insignificant humans to challenge their superiority in such a way stirs anger. The Zorvanes underestimate humanity's ingenuity, blinded by their own superiority. "They are mocking us. Show them why they should fear us." But in the back of his mind, something nags at him. The humans are not as weak as they seem.
Morgan stands in the war room, her gaze fixed on the holographic map of the solar system. The Zorvan fleet is now scattered and disoriented, but Dr. Dev enters with urgency. He's pale, beads of sweat on his forehead. "Captain, we need to stop. The wormhole tech, it's too unstable. Overused could collapse entire sections of space. If we keep using it, we risk everything." Morgan's jaw tightens. "What are you saying? That we should just surrender?" Dr. Dev hesitates. "I'm saying we could destroy everything. The balance of space-time is delicate, Captain. If we don't stop soon, we could..." "I know the risks, Dr. Dev, but we don't have a choice. Earth doesn't have the luxury of sitting still." The weight of the decision presses down on her. She knows they're gambling with their survival, but to not act is worse than certain death. "We'll push forward, but we'll be careful." Captain Morgan leans forward in the command chair, her eyes alight with determination. The Zorvans have begun to regroup, but they're still disoriented. She gives the order: activate wormholes, take them by surprise. In a breathtaking moment, Earth's fleet moves like shadows in the night, flanking the Zorvan warships, striking when and where the enemy least expects it. Morgan's fleet captures Zorvan's supply barges, cuts off their communication lines, and cripples their coordination, all without firing a single shot. The Zorvans scramble to understand what's happening. Each wormhole shift leaves them reeling. The tables have turned. Earth's small fleet is outsmarting a force 10 times its size, and the once certain outcome is now in question. The Zorvans, stunned by the humans' ingenuity, are now in full retreat. 4 of their warships have been lost without a single shot being fired, destroyed by strategic use of the wormhole tech.
For the first time, the Zorvans realize they've underestimated humanity. The arrogance that had once defined their approach turns to fear. The humans aren't just a weak species to be crushed. They're resourceful, they're adaptable, and they're fighting back. Morgan stands call from the command center, her heart pounding with exhilaration. The tide is shifting. The Zorvans, once certain of victory, are now on the defensive. They're scrambling to react to a threat they don't understand. "We're winning," she breathes, her voice filled with disbelief. The Zorvans are realizing what Earth has known all along. Size doesn't matter. Humanity, once dismissed as insignificant, has turned the tables. With ingenuity, courage, and sheer willpower, Earth has shown that even a small fleet can stand toe-to-toe with the galactic empire. Morgan stands tall, looking at the once imposing Zorvan fleet now in disarray. They've underestimated Earth for too long. "David sharpens his stone," she murmurs, quoting an ancient Earth proverb. Humanity has proved its resilience. The Zorvans' arrogance has been shattered. Earth has made its size irrelevant through sheer force of will.
The Zorvanes, now reeling from their losses, begin recalculating their strategy. What had once been a sure victory is now in jeopardy. They can no longer afford to treat Earth as a joke. The High Admiral speaks quietly to his command staff, his expression grim. "This is no longer just a small rebellion. These humans, they are far more dangerous than we thought." As the Zorvanes prepare their counterstrike, a new tension fills the air. The battle is far from over, and Earth, against all odds, has become a force to reckon with. The stage is set for the next phase of the conflict. The question remains: will Earth's ingenuity and willpower be enough to overcome the might of the Zorvane Empire? The void of space between Earth and the Zorvane fleet is soon swallowed by the pulse of battle. The first wave of alien fire erupts, a hellish spray of energy that splinters the blackness of the sky into jagged threads. Earth's fleet, once proud and strong, shudders under the initial barrage. Cruisers, their sleek metal bodies, once symbols of humanity's determination, now crack and burn, tumbling through space in disarray. On the bridge of the Vanguard, Captain Morgan watches as the chaos unfolds, her mind calculating, her eyes set on the doomed horizon. "Shields failing, Captain. We can't hold this much longer," Lieutenant Harris calls out, his voice trembling. The stars outside flicker like dying candles as humanity's final stand begins. I don't think we can make it." But Morgan isn't looking at the numbers. She's looking at the enemy ships, massive, hulking behemoths that tower over Earth's defenders. Their sleek alien forms glint coldly in the starlight. The Zorvanes, arrogant and relentless, descend without mercy. Their ship's firepower is overwhelming, reducing Earth's fleet to burning wreckage. But in Morgan's mind, the fight isn't over. Not yet. Not while there's a single human alive to fight back. "We adapt. We always adapt," Morgan mutters under her breath, her resolve hardening. "Keep fighting. Keep surviving." The fire of destruction continues, but Morgan's eyes harden with purpose. She knows what she has to do. Morgan's fingers dance over the controls. "Initiating split-space protocol," she commands, her voice steady despite the chaos. The moment her words hit the air, the battlefield shifts. Micro-wormholes, more than 30 of them, snap open across the war zone, creating cracks in space itself. These are not the calculated, single-use wormholes they've experimented with before. This is an all-out assault, a gamble that could either save them or doom them all. "Commander, this is insane!" Lieutenant Harris shouts, but Morgan silences him with a glance. The view from the bridge is a swirling maelstrom as Earth's ships disappear and reappear at impossible angles, evading the Zorvane's fire by vanishing into rips in space-time. For a brief moment, it feels like the universe itself is breaking.
The Zorvane fleet is caught off guard. Their once unassailable formation crumbles as Earth's ships blink into existence just behind them. Shields falter, guns fire, but there is no time to react. The war has transformed into something unrecognizable. Every shot from Earth's fleet lands where it shouldn't, and the enemy is left reeling, unsure of where the next blow will come from. "Keep up the pressure," Captain Morgan commands. "This is our chance. Don't waste it."
With the wormholes opened, Morgan's fleet begins to move with unprecedented precision. Ships dart in and out of the fractured space, striking Zorvane targets from behind, from above, from impossible angles that leave the aliens bewildered. The Vanguard vanishes from view, only to reappear directly behind a Zorvane cruiser, unleashing hellfire before slipping back into another fold in space. This is madness, Lieutenant Harris gasps, watching Earth's ships move like ghosts in the night. The Zorvanes are left in disarray, scrambling to target ships that are no longer where they thought they were. The alien fleet is fractured. Their tactics, built on centuries of superiority, are suddenly irrelevant in the face of human creativity. Captain Morgan stands tall in the center of the chaos, her face illuminated by the flickering lights of the battlefield. "Madness? This is humanity," she replies, voice filled with pride and defiance. "Adapt, overcome, survive." And as the Vanguard disappears once more into the twisting folds of the universe, the first hint of fear enters the Zorvane minds. As the Zorvane fleet scrambles in confusion, their commanding admiral realizes the true danger of Earth's new weapon. They've underestimated the micro-wormholes. Now, they must destroy them, or they will lose the war. With cold precision, the admiral orders a strike, a series of nuclear warheads targeted at the wormhole generators that have been guiding humanity's ships through space. "Impact in 30 seconds, Captain," Harris reports. "They're targeting the nodes." Morgan's face tightens. She knows exactly where the Zorvane think the generators are. The trick is, they're wrong. "Get us out of here," Morgan commands. "Relocate the generators now." As the countdown ticks down, Earth's ships begin to move, but they're not running. They're repositioning. The wormhole nodes flicker out of existence in one place and immediately reappear in another, shifting at the speed of thought. The Zordane's nukes hit nothing but empty space. The Zorvane admiral curses. "They're using the wormholes against us." But as humanity gains an upper hand, the cost begins to show. One of the micro-wormholes, opened too many times in quick succession, begins to destabilize. It starts to collapse in on itself, pulling in everything within its vicinity. The field surrounding it flickers, warping space and time to its breaking point. "Dr. Dev, what's happening?" Morgan demanded, her voice tight with urgency. Dr. Arun Dev, the genius behind the technology, stares at the flickering console, his face pale. "We've pushed it too far. The field's collapsing. If it goes, we lose everything. Before he can finish, Morgan realizes the truth. The collapse will take them all. The fleet, Earth, everything. There's no way to escape this. "Do it, Doctor," Morgan says, her voice breaking. "Fix it. We need you." With a heavy heart, Dev nods. He rushes to the terminal and begins to type furiously, his hands trembling. I'm not leaving you to die, Captain. I'm not like this." But as he works, the energy field around the wormhole destabilizes further. Dev glances up at Morgan one last time, and, in that brief moment, she sees the resolve in his eyes. He stays behind. He seals the tunnel, but not without cost. The tunnel implodes, taking him and several Earth cruisers with it.
Captain Morgan wipes the tears from her eyes, even as the battle rages on. The loss of Dr. Dev weighs heavily on her, but she knows there's no time for mourning. The Zorvanes are regrouping, but they're still not ready for what she's about to do. "Deploying the final phase," Morgan says coldly. She's learned from her mistakes. This time, she lures the Zorvane flagship into what seems to be a safe wormhole. But this is no escape. It's a trap.
The flagship enters the wormhole path, but it's not the one it expects. Instead, it's a decoy, a path designed to collapse under the immense pressure. As the flagship moves deeper, Morgan watches, breath held. She whispers, "Goodbye." The wormhole collapses instantly. The Zorvane flagship and its admiral are torn apart in a burst of energy. The fleet shatters as their command structure disintegrates in front of them. The destruction of the flagship sends shockwaves through the Zorvane fleet. Panic spreads like wildfire as commanders frantically attempt to regroup. Orders are lost in the chaos, and the once unstoppable alien war machine falters. It's then that Morgan hears it. A transmission from the Zorvane fleet, garbled with fear and uncertainty. We retreat. We miscalculated. Earth is too dangerous. With the loss of their flagship, the Zorvane fleet splinters, their once ironclad unity turning to dust. What had been a mighty force is now a scattered, panicked retreat. Earth's fleet, though battered, though scarred, stands victorious. Against all odds, humanity has fought back, proving that even the mightiest empire can fall before the ingenuity of a determined people. As the Zorvanes retreat, Morgan allows herself a rare moment of victory. She looks out at the space ahead, knowing that this fight has been won, but that the war is far from over. For Earth, for humanity, it's only just begun. The war had ended, but its echoes would never fade. Humanity had endured, and as the last remnants of the Zorvane fleet limped away, Earth stood tall. The silence was deafening. No one expected what would come next. In the vast emptiness of space, Earth's voice, small but unwavering, pierced the quiet. We may be small, but we are not far. The transmission was simple, unadorned with grandiose promises of vengeance or victory. It was a statement, a challenge, a call to the galaxy that humanity was no longer hiding in the shadows, that Earth's hand was no longer outstretched in supplication, but in readiness. The message traveled far, bypassing military shields, academic networks, and even the most secure trade routes. It was picked up by every vessel within range, every station tuned into the galaxy's frequency. For the first time, the galaxy stopped. A quiet panic spread. Who had the audacity to send such a message so calmly after witnessing the devastation of war? "What do they think they are?" whispered one Zactorian officer, watching the data stream on his command deck. "They think they're something else," replied a Valari strategist, eyes narrowing as the transmission looped. "Something we haven't considered."
The effects were immediate. Earth's unexpected victory over the Zorvane Empire, coupled with the strange and terrifying capabilities of Project Janus, had sent ripples through every corner of the galaxy. Diplomatic chatter exploded. Conversations that had been dormant for centuries suddenly sparked to life. Some species demanded immediate regulation of wormhole technology. Others began forming tentative alliances, eager to control or replicate the human breakthrough. Earth had opened a door, and the galaxy was scrambling to understand what lay beyond it. Back on Earth, Captain Morgan watched it all unfold. She knew the galaxy would never be the same. Earth had gone from a minor player to a key figure in galactic politics. The status quo had shattered, and now everyone would be forced to deal with the consequences. "Humanity broke the rules," whispered Dr. Arundev, his voice heavy with a mixture of pride and dread. "And now they'll come for us." But Earth had already set its sights higher. They were no longer fighting for survival. Now they were playing a longer game. The first stirrings of new alliances, new treaties began to form, while others hid behind closed doors, eager to steal the secret of the wormhole technology. The invitation arrived on a sleek, luminous datapad, a request for Captain Morgan to join the Galactic War Council, a position of unprecedented power. The offer was loaded with promises, prestige, influence, the power to steer the galaxy's course, to take a seat at the table with the galaxy's greatest minds. But Morgan simply stared at the pad, her gaze unreadable. "They want us to join their game," she murmured to herself,
but we're not ready for their rules. When the envoy arrived on Earth, Morgan refused to even attend the summit. Earth must learn who it is before deciding what it must become, she said calmly, speaking as if the entire galaxy were listening in on her every word. It wasn't arrogance that guided her refusal, it was wisdom. Earth wasn't ready to align itself with the established galactic powers. The message was clear. Earth would chart its own course, for better or worse. We're not just one more power to be controlled, Morgan added, her voice unwavering. Not yet. The council was stunned. The galaxy waited in silence. Would humanity accept or resist the overwhelming pressure to join? Morgan's decision was an unexpected one, but she knew that Earth's identity had to be formed on its own terms, not as a puppet of the very forces it had just defeated. As time passed, Earth found itself at the crossroads of opportunity and suspicion. Humanity's knowledge of wormhole warfare, of Project Janus, was a closely guarded secret. But Earth also knew that alliances needed to be formed. The galaxy wasn't going to stop probing for knowledge, and some truths would have to be shared. Captain Morgan, always cautious, chose a path of selective trust. Earth began training allies, fellow planets and empires that had proven their loyalty, on how to use wormholes in battle. But the core of Project Janus was never shared. The tech behind it, the heart of human ingenuity, remained hidden in deep space, far from prying eyes. Trust, but with limits, Morgan told Dr. Dev during one of their private meetings. We'll train them in the basics, but the true secret stays with us. It was a calculated move, one designed to ensure Earth wasn't dragged into a war it wasn't ready for. Earth's power was immense, but its wisdom was far more important. And so, humanity played the long game, creating ties and alliances without giving away the one thing that could truly change the balance of power.
With Earth's position now firmly established in galactic affairs, Phase 2 of Project Janus began. The wormhole generators and all their secrets were quietly relocated to a secluded, classified zone deep in space, beyond the reach of any scanners or tracking systems. The galaxy had no idea where Project Janus had gone. It was as if the technology had vanished entirely, hidden in a part of the universe no one could find. Earth's enemies, now afraid of what they might not know, began searching in vain, trying to understand the full scope of humanity's capabilities. But the truth was that humanity's greatest strength was not in its weaponry, but in its ability to vanish, to disappear, to bide its time. And for now, Earth's silence spoke louder than any battle could. "What's Earth's endgame?" one Galvasian officer asked, staring out at the endless void. "We're about to find out," came the reply, the unease in the voice clear. "And I'm not sure we're ready for it." The reputation of Earth spread like wildfire, not through the glory of conquest, but through the calculated brilliance of its actions. No longer was humanity seen as weak or small. The galaxy knew now that Earth could strike when it needed to, think in ways others couldn't, and endure what others would break under. Earth was no longer the underdog trying to survive. It was the shadow that moved in silence, waiting for the perfect moment to make its move. The galaxy began to fear Earth's potential. They feared the human ingenuity that could crack the impossible, the adaptability that allowed humans to overcome any obstacle. More importantly, they feared the quiet, measured steps humanity was taking, steps they could not predict. They feared the unknown, and in that fear, they learned something important. Humanity was no longer a minor force in the galaxy. Earth had earned its place among the stars, not through brute strength, but through cleverness, patience, and the ability to outthink its enemies. And so, Earth's legacy grew. A quiet terror spread. What would they do next? What were they truly capable of? The galaxy was on edge, waiting for the next move from the species they once dismissed. A lone space station floats in the deep, unbroken silence of the Orion expanse. Its surface is sleek, dark, almost swallowed by the surrounding stars. From the vastness, only the faint hum of energy stirs, a quiet pulse against a cosmic void. This station is no ordinary outpost. It is cloaked both in darkness and secrecy.
Its systems hum with a low, deliberate rhythm, and at its core, an ancient and forbidden technology awakens. The wormhole gate slowly activates. A faint shimmer forms in the emptiness, a swirl of color, bending space and time itself. Earth's touch on the galaxy is no longer a distant dream. It's a silent reality, a single pulse of energy, a whisper that ripples through the stars. The station is not an ambassador of power, but of intent, calm, deliberate, and far-reaching. Through the shimmering gate, a presence steps forward, an alien envoy, not armed with weapons or shields, but with questions. The figures are tall, their appearance elegant and alien, with eyes that glisten with curiosity rather than threat. They come not as conquerors, nor as diplomats, but as those seeking knowledge, understanding. The envoy surveys the station's silent vastness with a hint of both awe and caution. There's an unspoken recognition in their gaze. A new era is dawning. Earth's rise was not in the roar of its military might, but in the quiet resonance of its innovation. They are here, not for war, but to understand what humanity has become.
A young human officer stands before them, calm, composed, the weight of centuries in his steady voice. He speaks with a tone that carries the past and the present, a subtle reminder of what Earth endured. We're not conquerors, but we remember how they laughed. There is a pause, long, loaded, the silence holding memories of humanity's long history. The officer does not flinch. There's no bitterness in his words, but something deeper, a recognition of strength forged in adversity, a quiet, simmering fire that once threatened to break the galaxy. The envoy, for all their mystery, senses the weight of those words. The history of Earth, the scars it wears, are not forgotten. Not in its heart, not in its resolve. The alien steps forward, its voice soft but resonant, with a strange weight. Its gaze is focused, not on the human officer, but somewhere deeper, as if acknowledging the very nature of what Earth has become. And now, they fear your silence. The words are simple, yet they carry a profound truth. There is no need for bombastic declarations, no need for endless displays of power. Humanity's restraint, its careful silence, is more terrifying than anything the galaxy has yet faced. Earth is no longer the underdog. Its quiet strength has shaken the stars, and now even the most ancient empires watch with wary eyes. Far beyond the station, past the limits of the system, the stars themselves seem to shudder. They bend, twist, and warp ever so slightly, as if the very fabric of space itself is reacting to an unseen force. Something is watching. Something is waiting. Project Janus is still active. It moves in the silence of deep space, its purpose unknowable, its reach far beyond anything currently understood. Somewhere in the vast, uncharted darkness, the human-made engine of destiny continues to evolve. Its sensors quietly tracking, its silent eyes seeing things no one else can. The future, as it always has been, is waiting. And humanity, it is listening, observing, ready. The stars bend before them, not in defeat, but in silent acknowledgement. As the envoy turns away, gazing at the endless expanse, the faintest whisper lingers in the air. One of power, not in might, but in the soft, steady hum of potential. The gate remains open, not for war, but for what comes next.